Hey guys, thanks again for tuning in to another podcast of Local Legends. Today I'm joined by Jazz from Jazzy Photography. Thanks for joining us, Jazz.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
That's okay. Beautiful studio. Enjoying being in here. It's really
I
nice.
love it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is very good. So do you want to tell us a little bit about you and what you're all about?
Yes, my name is Jasmin and I am a mother of two beautiful children and I moved to Pennant Hills about 2 years ago. I've been photographing for over 17 years, previously in Balmain and then Lane Cove, and then moved to this area and we built this studio and love it. It's a beautiful area.
It is, definitely.
Yeah.
So 17 years in business, how's that been? You've got a couple of kids, you were telling me before.
That's right, yeah.
So how are you finding balancing all that with the business?
Look, hard. It's hard. It's hard to be a mum and a business owner at the same time. Your hours are very flexible. So I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, photographing. Yeah. I'm often working after the kids go to sleep at night and, if they're sort of busy playing, I quickly do an email. So it's hard to keep that balance, but at the same time, I try really hard to make sure I've got some allocated time slots for certain things so I can be a good mum and be a good business owner at the same time. So,
because that balance is always tricky, and especially for women in the workforce as well, jumping in and out, having the baby, then going back to work and doing all that. So just randomly, like any tips that you can give a mum? Like my wife is due soon, so I'm being a bit selfish here and asking if you have any tips for that.
Good question. Firstly, it's a bit of a roller coaster, so it takes time to get used to it. Yeah. And there's a lot of trial and error. I guess the main thing is prioritizing your family first. Family is always first. But I guess trying to keep that balance between finding the right time for certain things and also having a partner who understands that as well. So there are many evenings where I have my dinner with my family, we clean up and everything, and my husband's then used to me then having my working hours starting then, which is hard, but he's very understanding of that. And then also trying to make sure that I used to work every weekend, and so now I'm just trying to prioritize and lock in shoots on specific weekends and then have a weekend off every now and then to try and make sure my family is also has my time as well. So
it's a balance, right?
Exactly.
The one thing that everyone's trying to find is that balance.
Exactly right. So and also little things like not being on my device all the time. I can very easily be checking my Instagram and Facebook and emails more so than I do, but I just try and sort of put time aside for that, so I'm not on my phone when I'm with my kids, and but I still get back to clients in really good time. So it's just balancing that as well. Yeah,
definitely. No, I appreciate that insight. So 17 years in the business. Tell us a little bit about what you do in terms of the type of photography that you take.
Yeah, so I take natural, organic imagery for families, starting from newborn babies, family portraits with newborn babies, through to toddlers, through to families of all ages, all sizes, location work, studio work. Yep. My background was actually more sort of weddings. I'd still photograph weddings as well, but have been more prioritizing families these days. And I think one of the biggest things for me is that I love children and I get on really, really well with kids. Yeah. And my experience has mainly been with children, as I've actually also a primary educator as well, which I've got a degree in primary education. Okay. And I was a nanny for many years and everything, so I've had a huge amount of experience with children. Yeah. And so as soon as they come to the studio, like location, I just know different personalities, how to work with them, how to engage them, how to give them a fun time, how to help parents feel relaxed and know that their kids are in safe hands. So that's the biggest thing for me, which is why I feel like families is my thing. Even though I shoot everything, families is my thing. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's a natural progression from the wedding and then the kids come.
Exactly. I have lots of clients that go from, I've done their engagement photography, wedding photography, newborn photography, toddler photography, family photography. I love it. And, I'm saying to them, bring your grandkids to me too, I'll still be here. So
that's super cool.
I've got lots of families like that. Yeah.
And you just go through the process. And you were saying you've done a little bit of real estate stuff as well, I think you were saying as well.
Yeah. So my dad was actually a photographer back many years ago, and that's how I grew up. I actually grew up in a photographic studio my whole life.
Okay.
We had a photographic studio at the bottom, we lived in the middle floor, and then a photographic studio at the top.
Yep.
So I lived there for 25 years, I think it was, and experienced that. And my dad was a commercial advertising photographer, so he used to do lots of work for packaging companies, things like that. He used to do a lot of editorial work for magazines, as well as commercial work, products, and real estate. So I grew up doing that with him, and being assistant firstly, and then secondly shooting, be his second shooter, and doing jobs when he couldn't do jobs and stuff like that. So my background is actually commercial and product photography, but I actually started going more into the humanities and photographing people. But I still have that as my background. I still do a little bit of magazine work and product work, which I was doing last week actually in here. So
okay, what type of magazine work were you doing?
So there's, at the moment, I'm currently working for Indie Road magazine, and signing up at the moment for Hello Neighbour magazine as well. So I'll be doing some of their photography as well, and also some local businesses that bring their products to me to photograph, you know, whatever they're selling as well. So,
and is it particular products like food or any other items, or it's just virtually right across the board? Across
the board, I've done lots of food photography, and I also have set up, I've just recently been doing some photography for a lady who has an Etsy store. So she brought in all her Perspex boxes and wishing wells and things she sells for weddings. So she brought those into the studio and we photographed for that. Lots of craft things as well. So a lot of more small business people bringing their products to me, because it's nice for them to have a personal photographer they can come to, but also someone who's experienced in product photography, not just, I have a nice camera and I can do that for you.
I could take a photo of that. How hard could it be? It's a plate of food.
Exactly. You have to sort of know how to light it well, and get the best out of every product that you have in front of you. So
leading into that, taking a good photo, what's the beginner's tips on how to take a good photo? I'm not trying to put you out of business.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's good. It's a good question. Actually, it's really funny. I was having this joke with my brother-in-law the other day, because someone said to me at a wedding, "Oh, do you need good light for photography?" And I'm thinking, photo means light. Yes, you need light. Light is the key element for good photo. So it's all about, more than anything, for taking a good photo is about making sure you have good light and controlling light really well. And the more artistic you can be with controlling light, filtering light, softening light, making it harder, depending on your subject and what they need and what's your story you're trying to tell. It all comes down to that, really. And then on top of that, helping, if you've got a subject who's a person, helping them feel at ease, ensuring that you know what they want out of the photograph and knowing what the outcome is, whether it's going to go for web, whether it's headshots for business, whatever it is, making sure you're addressing exactly what they need and communicating throughout the photo shoot to make sure that they, they get their images exactly as you want. So.
So the lead up process to that, when someone approaches you to get some photography done, is there like a questionnaire that you go through to better understand the client? Is that how it works?
Yeah, definitely. So firstly, depends on who it is exactly, but generally speaking, I send a questionnaire to someone to get a lot of information from them. If it's a family photo shoot, for example, I learn a little bit about the kids, what sort of things that they love, what they love doing, what kind of makes them laugh, what songs they like. Also from the parents, what kind of where they want their photos to be is one of the key questions I ask, because so many people will go, we want to get some beautiful photos. I say, okay, but what are you going to do with them? Because if they're going to sit on a USB stick or on a computer at home, then let's just move forward from that. So do you want your photos, do you want them as canvases on the wall in your home? Do you want them in an album? How do you want to present them later on? So getting the families or whoever my client is to think about the product they want at the end of it really helps to kind of make this process easier, because we know what we're shooting for. And then secondly, I have a phone call conversation with whoever's called up. And then when they come into the studio, we always have a bit of a consultation beforehand. And if people feel more comfortable coming in prior to their shoot to have a consultation, they're welcome to do that too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and you build that relationship with them as well and get a better understanding of where they're at.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And shifting a little bit back to the area, Pennant Hills, you obviously weren't living around here. Why Pennant Hills and you coming? I remember we helped you through you came through a few of our open homes and you looked at a few properties with us. So why did you decide to choose Pennant Hills as a suburb?
Well, firstly, thank you. You guys did help a lot with that, and you guys were so on par with what we were looking for as well. And yeah, Pennant Hills, actually, to be honest with you, we didn't actually know much about the area before we came. And I obviously, as I mentioned, I came from Balmain and Lane Cove, very community strong areas. And when we came here, I didn't know anything about it. We just loved our house. We fell in love with it. We bought it. And then we went, okay, where are we? And so
where is this place that everyone talks about?
Yeah, so we went for a lovely walk. And the more we discover, we've been here now 2 years.
Yeah.
And the more we discover every weekend, the more we just adore this place, more so than I ever have any other area.
Yeah.
I just love the community, the types of shops that are around. We've got such an eclectic sort of mixture of different shops. I love the fact that we're near the train line. We're close. We're that close to the city. We can just an hour away to the city.
Yeah.
We can go to Dural and go to the markets there.
Yeah.
And then this specific area as well. Just my daughter goes to a beautiful preschool at Pennant Hills War Memorial, which is the most loveliest preschool ever.
Yeah.
And just little things like going to the post office and being in the queue, and people just start talking to you as if they know you.
Yeah.
And all our neighbours, we're on a WhatsApp group because we're all so
cool.
close, and we all have picnic parties all the time.
Yeah.
It's just the nicest area. I just love it. We love it here. Very family orientated.
Yeah, definitely. We find a lot of people move into the area for the schools. When people ask me, why do people come to Pennant Hills, Thornley, Norman, it's for the schools.
Yep.
So people bringing their kids into the area, and it's really that community feeling and that community spirit, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't imagine a better place to bring up kids. We're very happy here. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. So you've got your anniversary coming up soon. You can do a bit of a deal happening. Tell us about that.
So the studio was built almost a year ago.
Yeah.
And we're coming up to the anniversary of that. So I thought I would offer a very special deal for anyone listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
It's actually really amazing. I've never offered anything like this before. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a bit crazy. However,
on screen we have like flashing sales.
Yeah,
Sales.
No, basically I mean, because I'm 2 years the area, but the studio is still fairly new in the area.
Yeah.
I really wanted to have an offer for your people who are listening, and that is to offer a free photo shoot for any family at the moment, and they also get $50 print credit. It's for the first 5 people who can contact me after this after this podcast and mention the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be awesome. And if they don't get in, I'm happy to offer something else as well. But for the first 5, it's a free photo shoot.
Yeah, well, we're live on Instagram, so your phone's just going to go off the hook now.
Yeah.
We usually have like 10,000 people watching the podcast and the Facebook, Instagram live as well. So your phone's just going to go nuts.
Okay.
We'll link up the website in the show notes, and people can get in touch with you, or they can reach out through me, and I can pass on the details. So
okay, great.
I appreciate you being on the podcast, and
no problem. Thank you for your time.
Good luck for the rest of the business, and guys, thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.